rise, Kerala goes to the Supreme Court over the storage in the Mullaipperiyar Dam. People hope this is not a throwback to the Kaveri water feud of the early 90s. Vaiko observes a day-long fast at Theni to protest Kerala's stand on Mullaipperiyar, says there is no threat to the safety of Keralites.
The last person to see any of the Keralites is affected or their life is affected by the dam.
The Supreme Court asked the Tamil Nadu Home Secretary to consider Soham Roy's plea to lift the ban on his movie Dam 999 in the state. A special court in Delhi gives Janata Party Chief Subramanian Swamy to a chance to explain why 2 witnesses need to be examined in his bid to make P. Chidambaram a co-accused in the 2G case. The fence harming the crop, a 60-year-old watchman of a private bank's ATM is arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl. Good evening and welcome to NDTV Hindu. This is the top of the hour of 9 and you're watching News Tonight with me, Linda Hercules. A lot has been happening locally and internationally. You will be taken through all of that in the next 30 minutes. Let's take a quick look at the national headlines.
An incredible innings from
Virender Sehwag bats his way to the highest ODI score of 219. He is the only second cricketer to breach the 200-run mark. Foreign Minister S.M. Krishna is among the 3 former Chief Ministers of Karnataka against whom the Lokayukta police have fired an FIR in connection with illegal mining. On a day, the food inflation dropped sharply by 2%. The opposition says things haven't really changed on ground, accuses the government of not doing enough for the common man. Parliament was adjourned again today after the opposition once again demanded the Home Minister's resignation. The government has backed him, saying there is no question of his resignation. In a controversial move that could reignite the debate over caste-based quotas in higher education, artificial barriers created and exploited by vested interests, that pretty much sums up the sudden sense of insecurity that has enveloped Malayalis in parts of Tamil Nadu and Tamilians in parts of Kerala. But our reporter Anand tells us how interstate bonding and harmony can prevail over patriarchal and narrow-minded fringe groups.
33-year-old Prakash from Kerala has been running his banana chip store in T Nagar in Chennai for the last 8 years. Das from Tamil Nadu has been helping Prakash and his shop. Though Prakash and Das are good friends, Prakash's relationship with Das, he says, is as weak as the banana from Kerala. Das protected Prakash on Wednesday when the store was attacked by an alleged anti-Malayalam group. The recent Mullaipperiyar Dam issue.
நம்மளும் பல வருஷமாக கேரளா சுற்றி வேலை செஞ்சுருக்கு. பக்கத்து கடைகளிலும் தமிழர்கள் ஒற்றுமை இருக்குது. ஆனால் கடையிலும் தமிழர்கள் ஆளு வேலை செய்கிறது நம்ம மலையாளிஸ் தான். ஆனால் இது வரைக்கும் எந்த ப்ராப்ளம் வந்துட்டில்லை. இப்போ வந்துட்டுருக்கு. அதுதான் பயமாக இருக்குது. பாதுகாப்புக்கு யாரும் இல்லை.
அதாவது இது கேரளாக்காரங்க கடை தான். நான் கேரளாக்காரங்கிட்ட வேலை செய்கிறேன். நாங்களாம் ஒற்றுமையாக தான் வேலை செய்கிறோம். எங்களுக்கு வேண்டிய கடைலாம் கொடுக்குறாங்க. நாங்கள் அண்ணன் தம்பி போல தான் பழக்க வழக்கம் வச்சுருக்கோம். அங்கத்தி பிரச்சனையால் இங்கே மக்கள் பாதிக்கப்படுது. மேலே இடத்துக்கு இது சரி பண்ணுவோம். இதனால் எங்களுக்கெல்லாம் பாதிக்கப்படுறாங்க. பொதுமக்களும் ரொம்ப பாதிக்கப்படுது.
Velayudhan Secretary Kerala Samaj says that the Keralites here in Tamil Nadu are now facing threats as the Sabarimala devotees in Tamil Nadu were attacked. It is the duty of both the governments to stop this issue. He says people living in the border areas like Coimbatore, Palgad and Theni are literally living on the edge.
വളരെക്കാലമായി തമിഴ്നാട്ടിലുള്ള മലയാളികളും തമിഴ് സഹോദരന്മാരും വളരെയധികം നല്ല ബന്ധത്തിലാണ് നീങ്ങിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു പുതിയ സംഭവവികാസം, അതായത് ഈ വലിയ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളിൽ ഇരു സംസ്ഥാനങ്ങളിൽ നടന്ന അക്രമങ്ങൾ ഇവിടുത്തെ മലയാളികൾക്ക് മനസ്സിൽ അങ്ങേയറ്റം പുതിയൊരു ഭയത്തെ ഉരുവാക്കിയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. കേരളത്തിലെയും തമിഴ്നാടും എന്ന് ദ്രാവിഡ കുടുംബത്തിൽ ചേർന്നവരാണ്. ഈ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ പരിഹരിച്ച് ഇരു സർക്കാരുകളും ഇടപെട്ട് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ പരിഹരിച്ച് മലയാളികൾക്കുള്ള ഭയം അകറ്റിത്തരണമെന്ന് ഇരു സർക്കാരുകളോടും നിങ്ങൾ അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു.
The Mullaipperiyar Dam row is a classic example of regional chauvinism playing the spoilsport between two neighbouring states which have otherwise been cordial. The centre has invited representatives from both the states for negotiations on 16th of December. Tamil Nadu, however, has decided to stay away from the negotiation. In Chennai with Anand Kumar, Fawaz Jalil for NDTV Hindu.
A special appeal going out to the people of Kerala from MDMK leader Vaiko. While speaking to NDTV Hindu today on the Mullaipperiyar issue, said that his Keralite brethren should clearly understand the situation and not be afraid, as the Mullai Periyar Dam is intact and very safe without any threat to the lives of the people in the area. Vaiko was on a day-long fast today against Kerala's stand to construct a new dam in place of Mullai Periyar. The fast that ends today at Theni is against Kerala's alleged injustice in trying to build a dam in place of the existing structure, which is the livelihood of South Tamil Nadu.
We are launching this peaceful agitation through NDTV. We make an appeal to the people of Kerala, to the media of Kerala. Don't fall a prey to the attempted instigated propaganda of political parties and the government. We have been supplying food grains, vegetables, fruits, whatever you need all these years, we will supply. We make an appeal to the people of Kerala. Please keep patience, and we will be the last person to see any of the Keralites is affected or their life is affected by the dam.
The Supreme Court today directed the Tamil Nadu government to hear the director of the movie Dam 999 on lifting the ban on the exhibition of the film in the Tamil Nadu. The Apex Court directed that Principal Home Secretary will hear the director on the 12th of this month to decide on lifting the ban. The movie was banned in Tamil Nadu because the state said the issue raised in the movie was about disaster of a dam which may incite violence because of the Mullai Periyar Dam dispute. The director approached the Supreme Court challenging the ban by Tamil Nadu and argued that without giving an opportunity, Tamil Nadu banned the film. So the Supreme Court directed Tamil Nadu to give an opportunity to the director to present his case. The latest news now on the petition by Subramanian Swamy in the Delhi trial court. A special court in Delhi has partly accepted Subramanian Swamy's petition, but with a rider. Subramanian Swamy will have to appear before the court and stand in the witness box on the 17th of December to present his case. Swamy wants Union Home Minister P. Chidambaram to be made a co-accused in the scam and has said he would make a presentation to this effect from the witness box. As part of the process of establishing Mr. Chidambaram's alleged role, Swamy had sought the court's permission to examine two witnesses, a joint director of the CBI and a joint secretary in the Finance Ministry. It is left to be seen if Mr. Swamy has a strong enough case when it comes up in court on December 17th, where he will record his statement. And NDTV's Neha Khanna spoke to Subramanian Swamy. Here's what he had to say.
Mr. Swamy here is very pleased with the trial court's order. Let's find out more about it from him. Sir, how significant do you think is this order, and if you could please explain to us what it means?
Well, the order is pleasing to me because it basically permits a possibility of my cutting short the time to get Mr. Chidambaram summoned. What originally I thought would be necessary is to bring some authorities and further confirm my documents. Now the judge is saying I'm allowing your application, but I would like to hear you as a witness, and if I feel that these people are necessary for the case and the evidence that you have brought is not complete, then he would summon them. So now that time, the possibility exists now that the time for bringing witnesses, bringing them on board, questioning them, that is not anymore necessary.
Right. So now the hearing on the 17th of December will be crucial. That's when you'll actually take the witness stand and testify against Mr. Chidambaram. Yes. But sir, would it be correct to say that you still have to make out a case against the Home Minister before the court can give you the go-ahead?
Well, I've already made out the case. Now I'll have to say it under oath. Right. So if it hadn't made out a case when I was arguing as a lawyer, on the last date, then this matter would have come this far. Now I'll put it as a complainant, because I'm also a complainant. I have to put it on oath, and once I put it on oath, certainly I will argue why Chidambaram should be summoned.
And so once you've testified on the 17th of December, could the court straight away take a call as to on whether Mr. Chidambaram should be summoned?
Yes, it is. In fact, if they decide that these two witnesses are not necessary, the court decides the witnesses are not necessary, then he can go straight to the question.
How much closer do you think, sir, you are to having Mr. Chidambaram made a co-accused in the case?
I certainly think that will be before New Year's.
You are confident, sir, of the evidence that you have?
Yes, my evidence is not only conclusive for prima facie case, but is actually conclusive for conviction also.
And also, sir, finally, before we let you go, why do you think it is significant for you to examine those two witnesses you've talked about?
Well, I thought for completeness, since the CBI has all the possession of all these documents, why didn't they investigate Mr. Chidambaram?
Right.
And
Moving on, in a shocking news coming from Namakkal district, Kalimuthu, a watchman of an ATM for a private bank, has been arrested by police for allegedly raping a 6-year-old girl. The incident happened last night when the child was playing under a guava tree near her house. The watchman lured the girl in by giving her a guava. Later, the girl was found in tears in front of her own home. After inquiring what had happened, the parents of the girl, along with some local folks, took the watchman Kalimuthu to the police station and lodged a complaint. The accused was taken into custody. What do you do when you witness an accident on the road? Stop, stare, sometimes even be sensitive enough to call 108 for an ambulance. But are you aware of what you can or rather cannot do as a passerby? Fawaz Jalil brings a report on what can very well be your or my story.
A call center that works 24/7 not to make business, but to save lives of those in trouble and need help. The 108 project by the government with a private firm which provides medical, fire and police services is flooded with close to 30,000 calls a day from all over Chennai. Each of it is treated with a sense of emergency. If you're the one calling for help, make sure your neighbor hasn't. The call center claims they get different phone calls from the same spot with varied description of the location. As a result, 2 or more vans are sent to the same accident site. A simple check in the crowd you're a part of could help save resources. The amount of prank calls that make up this call figure is a big one.
In a day, we get close to about 20,000 to 30,000 calls in people who call 108. So these kind of calls, out of that 75% of the calls are ineffective calls. These ineffective calls, we categorize them into disconnected calls, prank calls and hoax calls. Disconnected calls contribute the major percent of these calls, but however, these hoax calls and prank calls actually clog the emergency lines and we are unable to receive the actual emergencies and serve them in the correct time. So these kind of hoax calls and prank calls, what they actually do is the ambulance goes to the location and find out there is no such emergency. At that particular time, there is somebody who in need of an emergency is not getting attended to. So what we humbly request the public is to use this 108 services very wisely, because this service is going to really take care of emergencies for the people.
Once the ambulance arrives, do not rush the driver or the pilot of the ambulance to transport the patient to the hospital immediately. Not many know that the pilot of the vehicle is trained to administer first aid to the victim before driving him to the hospital. But in several instances, interference from a curious crowd, pressure to rush the victim, results in the victim missing out on the basic first aid. Due to the heavy toll of traffic in Chennai, many of the ambulances are finding it difficult to reach the respective scene. Remember, there are a lot of do's and don'ts till the ambulance reaches, which one must know.
விபத்துன்னு சொல்லி எங்களுக்கு கால் பண்ணுறாங்க. நாங்கள் அந்த இடத்துக்கு அதிவிரைவாக போயிடுறோம். போனால் அந்த இடத்துல போனால் பப்ளிக்கெல்லாம் கூடி எங்கள் வேலை சேவை விட மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க. அதாவது அவங்க ஒரு ஆதங்கத்தில் பேஷண்ட்டை வந்து வேகமாக எடுத்துகிட்டு போங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அடிபட்ட நோக்கத்தில் அந்த ஒரு பரிதாபனோடு இருக்கிறாங்க. தவிர எங்களை வந்து நாங்கள் ஒரு முதலுதவி செய்யணும், அவங்களுக்கு அதிகமாக ப்ளீடிங் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கோம்னா அதை அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணி நாங்கள் ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு போகிறதுக்கு எங்களுக்கு ஒரு சில வழிமுறைகள் இருக்குது. அதை செஞ்சால் தான் நல்லாயிருக்கும். இல்லைன்னா வேகமாக கூட்டு போகணும்னு அவசரப்படுறதுனால எங்களால் ஒரு சில விஷயங்கள் தடைப்பட்டு போகுது.
Most important of all, when your neighbor on the road is an ambulance, give way. That may sound as familiar a line. However, according to reports, several cases of emergency turn out to be those which could not be treated on time as the ambulance was stuck in a traffic jam. As you can see, the condition of traffic right behind me. Often this exact situation leads to the loss of many people's lives because our ambulances are unable to reach on time. Taking into consideration this fact, it is very much necessary our malls, buildings, apartments, etc. are equipped to face a medical emergency. With cameraman Sagai Raj, this is Fawaz Jalil reporting for NDTV Hindu.
Mobile phone users get a report card from schools. 8 out of 10. More on that after the break.